Hello and welcome once more to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Marta. Today is still the 24th of January and I have some news regarding EA Sports and a little bit of an update regarding the Madden suit which was levelled against EA by the Madden football creator Robin Antoniuk. Now, you may remember that back in July of last year, the jury actually awarded $11 million to him, which included $4 million in damages plus interest. But now I actually have an update for you, as EA has actually had that judgment in favour of Robin overturned, and the US District Judge Charles Breyer overturned the ruling, saying that the jury, by law, was not shown the original game created by Antoniuk alongside Madden NFL games, created through 1996. Therefore, the jury could not make a proper decision on the case due to not being showed any side-by-side comparisons. And the judge said, quote, "Without the opportunity to view each of the versions of the later games, the jury had no basis for evaluating whether the changes the expert addressed altered each subsequent game. There was no evidence from which a reasonable juror could conclude that the games are virtually identical when compared as a whole." Now, Breyer's dismissal of the case was met with an appeal which was filed by Antoniuk's attorneys, and his attorney said, quote, "The evidence showed they used his source code without permission," and EA is of course pretty happy that their claims were resolved in favour of them, and actually made an official statement saying, quote, "It was the right result, and as Judge Breyer held, there is no evidence that any of the Sega Madden games are virtually identical to the Apple II game that Robin Antoniuk programmed. The evidence also proved that EA's source code was not substantially similar to Antoniuk's source code. As EA has mentioned from day one, Antoniuk was fully compensated for his work on the Apple II game. Because Antoniuk had no involvement in the Sega Madden games, he had no entitlements to further royalties." Now, some of you may be wondering, well, what actually caused him to basically bring this up in the first place? And he actually signed, this is Antoniuk, of course, a development contract with EA back in 1986 that supposedly entitles him to royalties on derivative versions of the Madden game, and at one time even worked out of the franchise a cubicle a few feet away from the founder of EA, who goes by the name of Trip Hawkins. So basically he obviously felt that he wasn't being given that due diligence, but obviously, although it was originally decided in his favour, his luck has now turned swiftly against him, and EA has actually come up trumps. So it's a rather complicated situation. I will put a link in the description if you guys want to check out the original court case. If you're curious about the ins and outs of it all, it's a little bit complicated, and as to who's right and who's wrong, well, I don't know enough about the law to really comment on that. But it must be pleasing for EA, and obviously not so pleasing for Antoniuk that when he thought it was a victory has actually turned out to be not so. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.